Now, Congressman Ron DeSantis, who spoke to the gunman moments before he opened fire. Congressman, thank you for being here. I know it has been just an unreal day for all of you on Capitol Hill, so we thank you for coming in tonight. You spoke with him? What was your exchange? What did he say, and how did it start?
Well, I was playing third base. Jeff Duncan, a colleague of mine who I ride to the field with, was playing shortstop. I had said to Jeff, we've had a good workout, let's leave a little early so we can beat the traffic back to the Hill. So Jeff agreed. So we walked out to get into one of Jeff's aides' cars, and I got in the back seat, Jeff got in the passenger seat in the front, and a gentleman walked up and approached us. We were both in the car by now, and he said, hey, are those Republicans or Democrats out there? And Jeff said, they're Republicans. So the guy immediately turned around and then started walking to the field. Now, this was a little odd because we're just in a field in Arlington, Alexandria, Virginia. It's 7 a.m., 7:10 in the morning. There'd be no reason to really be a spectator at this. But the guy, in hindsight, clearly knew that there were members of Congress there, and he wanted to know whether they were Republican or Democrats. And once we got back to the Hill, heard the news, Jeff and I both said, we got to report this guy. I mean, it just sounds fishy. And then once they identified him and we saw his photo, I said, Jeff said, and then Jeff's aide, we all said, that is the guy.
I mean, it's an unbelievable story. And he came over to you. Was there any indication? Was he carrying anything? You know, what can you tell us about his bearing and his mood? Was he sweating? Did he look calm?
So he was a little abrasive. I didn't see anything below his chest because I was in the back seat. And so I don't know if he was carrying anything. It's interesting, in the parking lot where we were kind of behind the first base side bleachers. The Capitol Police tinted SUV for Scalise was not that far away. It was probably about 100 feet away, further up the first baseline. And so there was security there. It just, he went to the other side of the diamond, and from that perch by the third baseline, which I had a couple members of my team tell me when they got back to the Hill, it's a good thing you left, because if you were sitting at third base, you'd have been a sitting duck.
Unbelievable. I mean, and the shooting went on, we're told, for about 10 minutes. You know, at what point did you realize, you know, as you were driving, did you start to hear the story?
No.
You know, at what point did you put it all together?
It was what we had already gotten back to the Hill, and I was getting updates on my phone, but we were in the gym, showering, getting ready for the day, and I actually saw it on TV, Scalise shot, and that's kind of a shocking thing, because when you're there 20 minutes beforehand,
had you just seen Steve Scalise, I'm sure.
I was throwing him double play balls. We're fielding ground balls. I'm throwing him balls. He's turning two. You know, we did that half a dozen times, probably 10 minutes before he got shot. So it was very surreal. Then once I got my phone, people had kind of been contacted, and then Jeff and I contacted Capitol Police, let them know what we knew about this individual. At the time, we didn't know it was the same guy. Later, we obviously found out it was.
What do you think the impact of this is, if any? There's been so much discussion this afternoon and this evening about whether or not this camaraderie leads to anything, or have we just become so inured to violence that we just sort of, you know, experience it and then everything goes back to normal?
Well, I don't know any kind of like big takeaways what'll happen if it'll change how Congress works. I think that with this particular individual, given what he asked us about whether it's Republican or Democrat, given the information we now know about him, it's clear that this guy is somebody that was filled with rage, political rage, and he decided to take it out by trying to murder people. And had the Capitol Police not been there with Scalise, I think he would have killed 10, 15 people. I mean, if the Capitol Police weren't there, if Steve had slept in this morning, we would have all been defenseless. I mean, I have a glove out there that can stop line drives and ground balls. It's not going to do very much with a rifle or a pistol firing at you. What
changes in terms of the security for members of Congress, if anything?
Well, on the Hill, there's a lot of security. Now, we're off-site with this ball field, and it's never really been an issue we've really even thought about. But in hindsight, you have between 10 and 20 members who will be out there at a given time. And if a member of the leadership's not there, there's never necessarily been any security. But, Martha, one of the things I think that the authorities need to figure out is, how did this guy know about this? It's not like...
Well, he'd been living nearby. You know, he may have heard somebody talking about it, or, you know, I mean, he wasn't working. He was sitting in his car for the last 3 weeks, from what we can understand, near the YMCA.
But why did he end up choosing Alexandria? I know he was protesting the president. He came from Illinois. You can see that there are ball players out there. It's not like we try to keep it a secret per se, but I wonder if there was any social media chatter or anything like that. What made him decide that he wanted to be in that area on that morning and was interested in who was out there?
Congressman, we're glad you're okay, and we assume that we're going to see you at the game tomorrow night?
I'll be there, definitely.
Right,
I think we got it's going to be an important one.
Thank you very much, sir. We're glad you're okay.